All right, welcome back in our spotlight today. British Foreign Minister David Cameron meeting with Secretary of State Antony Blinken as part of his trip to the U.S. to persuade congressional Republicans to pass an aid package for Ukraine. But before arriving in Washington, Cameron made a surprise stop in Florida, meeting at Mar-a-Lago with the presumptive GOP nominee, Donald Trump. Now, in a statement, the Trump campaign said that the meeting was held to discuss several issues impacting both countries, including upcoming elections in Britain and the U.S. and the implications of Britain's withdrawal from the European Union, the need for NATO allies to meet their commitments on defense spending, and ending the killing in Ukraine. Now, Secretary Cameron defending the Trump meeting at his press conference today.
Precedent of government ministers meeting with opposition politicians in the run-up to elections. I remember when I was Prime Minister meeting Mitt Romney when he was a candidate. So these things are entirely proper.
Well, this marks the second meeting that Trump has taken with a world leader in recent months, by the way. He also met with Hungarian President Viktor Orban in March. So I want to bring back our panel to discuss, and joining us is our senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang, as well. So thank you all for being here. And Selena, let's start here with you. We know that there's a precedent for presidential nominee to meet with world leaders, but how significant is this one?
Yeah, Kano, well, look, it's not just the UK. I think this is an example of how U.S. allies, they're hedging in an election year, and they're really bracing for the possibility of a Trump presidency and how that could upend U.S. foreign policy. They want to ensure stable relations no matter who's in office. But look, Cameron's priority here was to push for Ukraine aid, and he knows that Trump is influential with House Republicans. He wants Trump and his allies on board in Congress. His message is that this aid needs to get to Ukraine, because if Ukraine loses, if Ukraine doesn't win here, then everybody loses. And his message is really that this doesn't just impact European security, but also American security. Remember that $60 billion security package, aid package to Ukraine. It's already been approved in the Senate, but it's been stalling in the House. It's been months now. That really is his key priority.
And so, speaking of that priority, we know, Selena, that he is set to also hold talks with congressional leaders, but he's not slated to meet with President Biden. What do you make of that?
Well, look, the White House said they knew about the Trump meeting in advance. They're not commenting on it. He is meeting with Biden officials. And when it comes to that issue of Ukraine, the key priority he's got here, the president and Cameron, they are on the same page. They're both pushing for more of that Ukraine aid. Now, Trump, he's had a rocky history with Cameron. Cameron's been very critical of him in the past. But again, this really is a recognition of how influential Trump is with those Republicans. They also talked about NATO. And remember, Trump had faced a firestorm of criticism after he essentially encouraged Putin to attack NATO allies if they didn't contribute enough to defense spending.
And so, Mike, I'd love for you to respond to what Selena just said there, right? I mean, if David Cameron has this priority of getting aid for Ukraine and he is going straight to Donald Trump to do it, not even meeting with President Biden?
Yes, David Cameron is doing what he's supposed to do on behalf of his country, which is Britain. As Selena eloquently outlined, Britain cares about the continuity of advancing their policies, no matter who wins the race, whether it's Biden or whether it's Trump. What makes this so unusual is that we've never had a former sitting president run for election for president again, nor have we had someone who is so influential over his party. And so because of the fact that Cameron understands the stronghold that former President Trump has on his party, it's good strategy on his part to lobby the president to may even help loosen up some of those ties that he has to sway the interests of Britain.
And even given their, as Selena put it, their somewhat rocky relationship in the past. So, Tricia, for you, what does that signal to you that not only did they meet, but he actually went to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump, and he did that before his trip to Washington? And we know that Trump has been a critic of continuing aid to Ukraine.
I think this was a very savvy diplomatic move by David Cameron. Without a doubt, Donald Trump is formidable in the Republican Party. He can whip votes like we haven't seen in a generation from a Republican figure. Even then, if it's just a numbers game, it's a lot easier to persuade one man than 218 Republicans. So I think this was very smart. I think that all being said, Donald Trump and other Republicans, we're very focused on what's happening at home, whether it be immigration, inflation, crime. I don't see much persuasion going on from this meeting.
Interesting. And Kaivan, to you. Look, we also saw former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton meet with world leaders, right, in 2016 when she was running for president. So what are the concerns that you're seeing here over a bit of a power struggle? The fact that Cameron went to Trump again before his trip to D.C. and that Biden's not even on his docket.
Sure. I mean, I think some people on the Democratic side are reading this as a snub. It's really far from that. You know, Cameron didn't go there to watch Trump cheat at golf. He went there because our allies are so concerned about Putin's puppet, Donald Trump, not supporting NATO if he returns to office, joining Putin in attacking Ukrainian democracy and really global democracy. So that was my takeaway from why they prioritized this. And as you noted, the White House is on the same page as Cameron on this. So what do they have to meet about?
Interesting. Well, clearly it does seem to be that he thinks that Donald Trump is the man that could help get Republicans. We know he's going to meet with House Speaker Mike Johnson as well, that could help get that aid to Ukraine. So we will see how this all plays out. We'll be watching. Mike, Kaivan, Trisha, and Selena, our thanks to all of you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.